When you say that wrestling fans are vocal and are, willing to speak their mind, I'm so curious what your DMs look like.
Oh, yes. It's a lot of selfies like this. Like men don't know how to take selfies for some reason. So it's a double chin selfie, and they're like, and it's not just wrestling fans, because in my girls group chat we screenshot and we share the pictures.
Sure, yeah.
So even like when you're dating a guy and he sends you a selfie, I'm like, what is this? Like, guys. This is a good angle. This is an angle. Mirror picture, perhaps. Even though that's like an ick for some girls.
That Instagram request area must just be
sometimes it's
the wild, wild west for you.
Sometimes the ones that creep me out or that worry me are when it's every day for 6 years. Because I'm like, that's a lot of commitment. And even if it's not like threatening or sexual, it's like, ooh, I'm going to leave that in there for the FBI. Like in the future, like if he needs to get in there and like look, like he's been there. But yeah, my DMs are like actually not that exciting.
I do not
as
believe
far as
you.
like it's like no one like asking me out on date. Like, well, it's like wrestling fans. Like, and
you have 1.7 million followers on Instagram.
Yeah.
I'm sure every day you're getting dozens of very interesting messages.
I'm getting like weird messages, but it's like, come back to wrestling. I'm your biggest fan in India.
And also, by the way, you have nice feet.
Yeah, like show me your feet more. Like it is like stuff like that, but it's not like I do get like really weird ones, but it's every now and then. It's never like people shooting their shot. And I think it's because people think I won't see it with 1.7 million followers. They're like, that's too many. Like I'm gonna go get a girl, even a girl with 100,000 followers. I think a lot of my guy friends that are dating, they're like, oh, she's so pretty, but she'll never see it. And I'm like, I see all of my DMs.
Don't put that
so
out there.
I'm just like telling everyone, like, shoot, like, because even my girlfriends are like stunning and so pretty and successful and single and just like super single and like don't find guys. And I think guys, it's a hard climate right now for men as well, because they want to be respectful. They don't want to me too much, but then they're like, don't want to have rejection because rejection's hard. So I do think it's hard for men.
It's tough to know your spot, right? Like,
yeah.
The gym's a great place to meet someone who has a mutual interest of like being in shape, but you never want to approach someone at the gym. That's always such an awkward thing. And then
I did an interview when I got Maxim Hot 100 my first time. I did an interview saying, do not mess with me at the gym, hat down. It's a bad place. But now that I'm older and I'm realizing I don't go out a lot, like I'm like a social drinker in this, but like I'm not in the bars every night, and I don't want a guy that's in the club every night, you know? So why would I go to a bar?
Who do you want? Basically, by the way, are you single?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
I'm
single.
She has a big smile. Oh boy, we're gonna hook you up here.
I know. Well, this is what the podcast is really about.
Oh, we should have started with this.
I am single, but it is true. It's like, why would I go to the bar and find someone, because that's guys that are in the bar. So even like my sister is like super into cooking. I'm like, oh, you need to like take a chef class, like find a chef, like something. So it's this interesting concept that I've told my girls, because though I'm an extrovert, I'm very introverted and I love being at home.
Yeah.
And you're not going to meet people at home. So the things that I do all the time is I do go to the gym. And going to the gym, you don't have to have abs, but it's very important to be healthy in a lifestyle and have a similar lifestyle to mine. So that's something that I do look for in a partner. So it is like, oh, maybe I do need to smile to people at the
Maybe
gym.
just maybe work out a few times without the AirPods.
Oh my God.
Because the AirPods
music is so good.
And right, the music of the gym's so bad.
Oh my God, so bad.
But
it's like Celine
AirPods,
Dion.
and Matchbox 20, you're like,
yes, which I love, but like not for lifting. Yeah.
AirPods are like the signal of like, please do not talk to me.
Yes.
These are in. My friend, who you don't even know, who lives in Nashville, texted me on my way here and was like, Danielle doesn't know me, but we work out at the same gym.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you should say hi. So I think what it is for dating advice from a woman to a guy is, I think it's the lingering. Like it's, it's okay to tell a girl, like, I also do think it's a little aggressive if you're like, hey, I just wanted to interrupt and tell you you're so beautiful. That's nice. And then you go. like you go, if that's a gym you frequent or a coffee spot you frequent, it's not the first time she saw you. She might have not saw you before, but now she's like, oh my God, that's so nice. And it's not creepy. It's not like, hey, you got a fatty. Like, it's like, oh, that's nice. But I also think too, like, maybe like, oh, hey, like those are cool sneakers. Like, what kind of shoes are those?
Wouldn't you prefer someone talking about anything other than the way you look? Like,
yeah,
it's not a great opener.
But I don't, it's also nice if it's like genuine, like, hey, I've seen you in here a lot. You really work hard. Like, that's really admirable of you.
That's a great line.
Oh, cool. Like, like, oh, wow, thanks.
Men
like,
are taking notes out there right now.
Yeah, because then in my head, I'm like, oh my God, I've never seen him before. And honestly, it's not even because I don't find you attractive or I don't like you. It's just because I'm in my zone. I have 1 hour. Like, I'm busy, so I need to get in and get out. So I think also, too, like, so many people were in our phones all the time, women especially. So putting your phone down, but, yeah, not lingering. And I also think don't ask for the number right then and there. Like, you're at the gym, like, you're at the coffee shop. Like, you'll see them again, like, building that friendship and then being like, hey, we should go out sometime. Because even me being single, it happened to me recently at a coffee shop, like, I always say I want to meet people organically, and then he came after me. He's like, hey, I'm so sorry I saw you in there, and I just had to come up to you and ask you, like, would you want to get coffee with me sometime? Like, what's your number? And I was so like, and then I'm like, I think everyone wants to kill me and like rob me. So I'm not giving, who are you? So I'm not, and it's famous or not, like, I just feel like that's dangerous for women too. So like, I'm like, I'm not going to give him my number. So by default, I was like, oh, I have a boyfriend. I'm sorry. So I shut down. So, it's nice if it's a place you frequent and you can give like a nice compliment.
I met my wife on Hinge.
Really?
Yeah.
And wow, I feel like there's so many couples that I'm hearing that about.
I also struck out a bunch. And we could get into a 3-hour-long conversation about that. It also sucks because you start to build this idea in your mind of who that person is based on 5 photos and 3 sentences. Totally. You're like, oh my gosh, there's a photo of them with their family. Like, oh man, Thanksgiving with their family would be so great. And you're like creating this entire story that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Or you'll like match with someone, you hit it off for a few messages, and then they never respond ever again.
Yeah, and then it's like they're not responding because they're not interested in you. It could literally just be Thanksgiving, and they're so busy, or
they stopped using it, or they got back with their ex-boyfriend or ex-girlfriend, or
so timing's another thing that's really good. When you really think about it, like even Instagram's the worst. Like guys use it as a dating app, like it's just so, and then girls use it because they want to get more followers and. It's just like this slippery slope. But really, at the end of the day, it has to be perfect. Like, you have to be in the right frame. The timing has to be right. Your ex can't be in the picture. Like, it really has to just be like this divine timing. So.
Are you on Raya?
Yes.
Oh, that's great. Right? I didn't get approved on Raya.
I don't like it. I think for girls, I think for guys, it's probably gold mine because the girls are like gorge and great. But even then, like nothing really comes from it. Like I did go on a date with one guy.
And he lived in Paris and drove a Ferrari.
Oh, that's another thing. They're in different areas where I did go on the date and he did like fly in to meet me. And I was like, wow, that's like so nice.
Yeah.
But it just like wasn't there. I don't know. That's another thing with me too. I'm very much like not attracted to, not even physically. Like I don't know what my type is, but I'm like hard. When I see it, I see it. So I'm open to dating. Actually canceled a date last night.
Oh no.
No, but he didn't.
Dating in LA is not great, by the way.
Yeah. And so I was like, oh, I'm in LA. Like, and he was like, oh, I'd love to take you to dinner. I was like, okay, great. 3 weeks ago, he's like, I'll make a reservation.
I'll make a reservation at Nobu.
Sounds great. Well, we'll get ready. He didn't make a reservation. So then I'm like, great. He seems great. And we actually have a mutual friend that was like trying to introduce us. So I was like, I'm open. I need to be open or whatever. And so then he texted me. He was like, hey, like, what time do you land? Also, this is what I was thinking. If you want, and this is good for men to know. I'm going to put this out there for you boys because I don't think you guys understand. He was like, great, if you want to come over by me, you can park in my parking garage, and then we can go walk and get some food. There's a bunch of good restaurants around here.
I see what he's doing.
Okay, so for me, That's cool if I know you, if we've been dating for a while. I'm a casual, non-high maintenance girl, even though I look like it. So I'm casual. I'll go walk, whatever. I'm in town for 2 nights. I have a spray tan at 9 p.m. You told me you're making a reservation like a couple weeks ago. You had a month. Do we not have a reservation? Because it's LA, like on a Thursday. How do I know we're going to get in there? So instantly, I'm in my masculine. I'm trying to plan in my head and like figure it out when I just want to show up and have a nice date and usually men want to provide and like impress you. And so I think there's this like relaxed feel to dating now where it's like, I care less. I'm cool.
Yeah, it's no big deal.
First, you didn't ask if you want to pick me up. Like, I don't want you to pick me up because I have something later, but like ask. And also, what part of town am I on? Am I in Hollywood and you're in Santa Monica at 6 p.m.? It's like an hour and a half. Why do I have to come to you? That's convenient. I just flew in. So it's like little things where I would do it, but I think it spills into a relationship where like, you had a month to make a plan. You can't make a plan. Am I going to have to book your travel for you in the future?
I hope this guy listens to this episode, realizes it's him, and goes, "Oh, damn."
You know, and like
I could have done that thing that takes 2.5 minutes to do.
Yeah, and I'm exhausted. So I was like,
I could have gone on an open table and got us a reservation.
Or get 2. If you don't know what the girl likes, this is so impressive. If you don't know what kind of food the girl likes, make an Italian reservation and then make sushi's a little niche. Some people don't like sushi.
Very niche.
And then do something where it's like steak and say, hey, I didn't know what you're into, so I made 2 reservations. You pick.
The bottom line out of all this.
Oh my God.
You're saying, shoot your shot. And
Imagine that never happens. Men, that's free game.